Yeah, there's like 50 people that are on that, yes. It's not gonna, I have a contract with the convention center. I can't change my dates. Now my response is this. From today, it is 5.5 months until that show. I believe that we have very reasonable registration rates. I'm very, very, I know that we are a cheap ticket, so to speak, for what we provide. It's not a lot of money. 5.5 months to prepare. Even after Supercon is in July, August, September, October, November, you still have 4.5 months. So I tell people, you should save. Go to one, go to the other, go to both. I'm not telling you not to go to Supercon over Animate, but for what it costs to get into the show, you can do both. Buy a ticket for, pre-buy a ticket. They're cheaper in advance anyway. Buy a ticket for Supercon in August, buy a ticket for me in September, or vice versa. Don't wait till the last minute. And I say, you have concerts that happen on, one week, next week. Godzilla came out, 2 weeks ago. X-Men came out last week. A Million Ways to Die in the West comes out today. Are you going to say you're not going to go see all three because they came out too close to each other? I mean, it's inconvenient. It's not the best situation, but I don't think it's a crisis. Do you? I mean, do you think it's a crisis? You don't think people can save up in 5.5 months? I think that to plan last minute, to say, okay, I'm going to go right now, you're right. But I think if you have time to prepare, and if it's an issue, and you say, I'm going to go do both of these things, and you save up a few bucks, you're going to have to save up for, even if the show is another time, you're going to have to save up for it anyway. I mean, again, I don't think it's the most, a perfect date or opportunity or situation in human history. But I don't think it's end of days. There was no. Nobody was banned for asking a question. So I'm going to make a statement here that, and you tell me if you feel that it is improper on my part. Your girl Jennifer Rose, I think that's the name. So she's the one who created the Facebook page. This is the person I banned. She posted on multiple pages, "We have this page, please stop." I emailed her directly, and I have corresponded with her directly. Hey, Jennifer, I hear you. I understand your concerns. This is why we did this. This is what's happening. I appreciate what you have to say. I hear you. This is what I have to say. And I took the dialogue off our Facebook page. And I deleted the post because I'm not going to have the conversation in a public forum. I believe, much like I'm talking to you, that it is better to discuss something one-on-one with somebody and explain the who's, the what's, the where's, the why's. Because there's always nuance. Nothing's black and white. There's always nuance to things. And I think that sometimes that gets lost. So I engaged her in conversation. She thanked me for discussing with her, and I said to her, I go, anytime you want to talk to me, you can. And she's free to promote her Facebook page wherever she wants, but not on my page. Just like when you post your blog and you get deleted, you have absolute freedom to write whatever you want, as long as it's legal. Promote it however you want. I don't have to have it shared with my people. Other conventions are free to promote wherever they want, but you don't see me promoting Supercon on MegaCon's page. I don't go on MegaCon's page and go, hey, come to Supercon. You don't see me going on Spooky Empire's page, hey, look at me, come to Supercon. It's inappropriate. So you want to get an audience, so you go get an audience. But I'm not going to give you an audience. It's not. There's no reason for me to give you an audience. And just like her, she wants to get an audience for what she's doing. Well, go take it off my page. What happened with her is that after I talked to her multiple times, she continued to post on the page and got aggressive about it, and then called me out and says, you can't quiet us. Well, okay, I'm not trying to quiet you. I'm just saying we're not going to have this discussion on my public Facebook page, which is a promotional tool for my show. So what am I supposed to do after multiple emails with her back and forth saying, hey, I hear you. We can talk about this. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. After we have the discussion, and she keeps posting, and I keep deleting and going, hey, I thought we discussed this. And then she gets aggressive on my Facebook page. And I'm going to tell you that I will have civil discourse on my Facebook page, but I won't allow attacks. Like when people get aggressive or use strong curse language or are really just angry. Yeah, I'm going to delete you, and based on what you say, I may ban you. Now you'll notice that my group page, it has more relaxed standards, and I let people promote the hell out of stuff on that page. Not other conventions, but if people have projects, they can promote it there. But I mean, look, I spent 9 years and a lot of money and a lot of time building up a fan base of 71,000 people on Facebook. On that page. And I spent a lot of time on the Animate page getting, 11,000 people. It's my audience. I worked hard for that. I'm not obligated to share that audience with anybody. And, I expect to be treated. I'll be civil with you, but I would like to be treated civil back. And the Jennifer girl didn't do that. Didn't abide. I mean, it was a lot of posts, man. By the time I just said, I'm just done with this. I'm not going to play whack-a-mole with you anymore. I love Doris. She's not really staff. I love Doris. Doris is one of our girls. She does cosplay modeling for us, but she doesn't work for the show. And you'll notice that she has a booth at our shows. She has a vendor booth. She's an artist and cosplayer who sets up at my shows as a guest exhibitor. She's not a staff member. Staff members are people that help with the running of the show, the organization of the show. People that have vendor exhibitor booths are not staff members, generally. Now, there may be staff members that have a booth at different points in time in history, but Doris is not a staff member. She's not my friend. She's my friend. I will tell you that it's not in my office. I will tell you that I've seen people make comments on my page how come you don't get this guest? MegaCon has this guest, or how come there are people that love MetroCon and want to talk about MetroCon. That's their freedom. I've seen people on the MegaCon page go, hey, Supercon is doing this, you should do this. It's not my staff. I don't think my staff, I would not allow my staff to attack another convention, and I'll tell you why. Because if it comes back to me, then I get blamed. So the people in my office or the people on my staff know not to shit talk other conventions. No matter what we feel, it's not appropriate to shit talk another convention to make ourselves look better. We don't engage in that. And if you find any situation of that, you let me know. On Facebook, unless you have a anonymous account like you, I mean, it's pretty out in the open. You know who's saying what. Like, Dora said what she said. So, there are people who set up at my shows, artists who have said things on other, yes. Are there attendees who say things? Yes. Do I encourage it? No, I don't think I do. I don't think I've ever posted anything or said anything which encourages people to do that. Have you ever seen anything to the contrary? You mean the private email correspondence between me and Chippy Pop, where I called Jason out for doing a show the same weekend as Supercon? So you have a private email. I don't care if you have it. I wrote it, but I didn't say anything publicly against him. I said it privately. I said, "You're whatever I said," but I stand by it. He decided to put his show on the same weekend as Huracan, and then he claimed ignorance when he got called out on it. Yet the previous year, he cried about Geek Fest, claiming ignorance for being on the same weekend as Sim and how they were going, and I think also ShadowCon. So, you have to take responsibility. Like, if you take a stand, you got to take a stand. If you're upset that Geek Fest, if you're going to go public and say Geek Fest and ShadowCon are bad people because they're on the same weekend as me and they're trying to crush us and they're trying to hurt us, and then they claim ignorance and say we don't know what you're talking about. When you do it the next year to another show, you should be held responsible. And Jason's the adult. Jason's an adult man. Huracan is run by college students, kids who are running a show that are having a good time. There's a different level here. You should be playing at an adult level. And I don't think he did. And I think I get emotional because I think it was unfair. I get emotional. I'm an emotional person. I speak very emotionally because I believe that when a bunch of college kids want to do their show, and have done it before, they shouldn't be. You should be aware that they're there. You should be just aware. But my comments about Chippy Pop were made directly to Jason in private. He chose to make them public. But I didn't go public against him. He just did it to try and hurt me.